All right, well, Jean-Luc was in Thursday night this week, and Jean-Luc stopped by to see me in September of last year, and that's the first time I met with him and got to taste through all the wines. And when he tasted me on the wines, he started me with the Le Rocher, his best wine, and then he went backwards in order there, how you normally taste through things, until he finally got to the white Côte de Rhone and finished things off. And, you know, I was a little curious as to why, you know, you would start with your best wine and end with your least expensive. And Jean-Luc looked at me and he said, "You are a professional. You can, the wines are all good. It doesn't matter what order we show them in." And, you know, I agreed with him. I thought that was a little bit a little bit ballsy to, you know, show your best wine first. But when they're all good, it really doesn't matter. And one of the things that Jean-Luc specializes in is biodynamic farming. He made it a point to, he stressed the fact that in addition to biodynamic farming, one of the things that was very important about his theory on raising vineyards was non-irrigation. And he argued that if you add water, you know, that is part of the terroir. The amount of rainfall that the area gets and the aspect of the soil and everything, that is the terroir. So when you add water, you cause the plant to do things it normally would not do. The root systems go down into the earth to get water. If you add water to the vineyard, they will not go as far down, thus making the wines less mineral driven, more made by the human hand. So, you know, very passionate about this. Also, one of the things that people couldn't understand half of what Jean-Luc said, because he did talk kind of fast and he's got a French accent, they understood the passion that he had for his wines. And it really shows in his wines. And, you know, the least expensive wines, I just had some people walk in the store today and say, "Man, these taste like $20, $30 wines, not $10 wines." So, Jean-Luc, good job, buddy. The Rosé, which is what we started with. You know, it's nice to see people walk in the door and have 20 people in the room all drinking pink wine. Doesn't happen very often. But this wine is a blend of Mourvèdre, Syrah, and Cornas, and has this lovely rose petal floral bouquet, strawberry, raspberry fruit, and all that nice fruit up front, finishing dry at the end. A really nice, refreshing style rosé from 2010. Fresh juice, baby. All right, next up we had the 2009 Blanc. This wine's a blend of Viognier Claret, Roussanne, and Grenache Blanc. Lovely nose of pear and fresh lychee fruit on the nose with perfume white floral notes. Fresh and clean on the tongue with a nice viscous texture like a skim milk. And then some of that minerality and those floral notes showing up on the finish along with a hint of white pepper spice. Next up we had the Viognier La Violette. And this wine is a drier style of Viognier. And I'm not a big fan of these big alcoholic sweet Viogniers. But, you know, if they're balanced, Viognier is a very interesting wine like this one with Asian pear and white peach fruit on the nose. This stone-like minerality and white hibiscus flowers and a hint of pepper spice showing up there also. Clean and fresh on the palate. As I mentioned, not sweet. Had a lovely texture of skim milk and finishing with great freshness. A really nice, light, refreshing style of Viognier. Very good stuff for $13.20. Wow. And then the Côte de Rhone 2009. This wine, what incredible value. You can get biodynamic, organically farmed vineyards and wine for $10 or close to that a bottle, $10.34. It's hard to believe that you know, you can get wines that travel across the ocean that are this cheap. All right, this wine had some lovely fresh floral notes and some bright berry pie fruit here. Lovely concentration and richness for a Côte de Rhone. Like I said before, 2009, a great vintage in the southern and northern Rhone. All right, next up, the Châteauneuf de Pape 06. Pretty much our traditional Châteauneuf de Pape. You know, really kind of more on the lean and elegant style, but a lot of that lovely fresh berry pie fruit, that Garrigue showing here, and you know, a little bit of a spice in the end there, but not particularly on the peppery side here. You get more of that from Syrah-dominated wines, not the Grenache-dominated wines. And 06, a fairly forward and drinkable style vintage. Next up, we had the Crozes Hermitage, one of the best values in the Rhone. You can get some great Crozes Hermitage for under $30 a bottle. Light roasted game quality to the nose, black plum, black cherry fruit, licorice spice, smoky, hints of violet in there, soy. Really nice and complex bouquet, but that Syrah makes it soft and round on the palate. Lovely fruit. And that incense and spice note showing up on the finish there with also a nice savory note. Really nice, very good wine for $27 and change. All right, next up, the Cornas Tréboulet. And these are the wines that people came to see. Cornas being one of the smallest appellations in the northern Rhone of the major ones. and just the 40 producers. There are some odd producers, but exotic bouquet, fresh flowers, fresh plowed earth, slaty kind of minerality, game-like qualities, dark berry pie fruit, very unique and exotic spice showing here in the nose, and then again coming through on the finish here along with all that lovely fruit, and then again wonderful balance and savoriness. That is one of the keys to Jean-Luc's style of wine. These are wines that are meant to have with dinner, not wines that are meant to be dinner. Okay, then we had the Le Roucher, and well, we had the 2008 vintage also, which 2008, a lot more forward, a little more fruity, and a little more showy vintage than 2007, which is a little more balanced, a little more elegant style. The Le Roucher, this is a wine that is one of his top vineyard sites, and one grapevine produces one glass of wine. With his other wines, one grapevine produces a bottle. So that is how low this yield, low yielding this vineyard site is. 30 days of maceration under controlled temperatures. Roucher means beehive, and I guess they like to name their wines after insects in this part of the world. And blackberry, black plum fruits with notes of fresh flowers, very forward and seductive smoke, a black pepper spice here. A blend of 50% Syrah and 50% Syrah. I thought that was kind of funny when Jean-Luc mentioned it. Yes, this is a blend. 50% Syrah and 50% Syrah. So he is obviously a comedian as well as being a great winemaker. But some fresh animal notes there and some barnyard. Really layered on the tongue. Dark chocolate, dark spices. A wonderful wine. Higher elevation vineyard, so thus the lower yields. All right, well, great stuff with Jean-Luc. Thanks, everybody that came out to that event. And that's what I had to drink yesterday, folks. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.